Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 372. Now, you can see I've changed the intro. Testing out a new format again and done some software updates.
I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding love, I'm hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding love.
Dark side. Let fate control your body.
It's a shorter intro and using some of the new music I made. So come and follow me, guys.
I'm searching.
They're hiding. Yeah, so that sort of worked, I think. Hello. Good to be back. I'll be back. So hopefully it's not corrupting. Not sure if we can play it back or not. It's really a bit of a test run, really. Like whenever you do changes to the software and layout and intros. So yeah, I don't know. How would I better test it? Suppose I could. Just Twitch loud rollback. Not too sure. Oh, looks like it started up again. Oh, that was a slight mistake.
Hiding, I'm searching.
Aliens are hiding.
I'm loving.
We're searching.
I'm finding love. I'm hiding.
We're not finding love though.
I'm loving. I'm finding.
Everybody hates me apparently. Looks like it's gonna play it going. Let me see if I can end it. It's really a bit more bassier than my last intro. Is it running okay on Twitch though? Let's type up the welcome message. I was meant to start it sooner, but I found that a new Windows update or something has rearranged the mic numbers. And of course my code is based on numbers and not... haven't found a way to match it to a label name. Could find example how to pull it out and then do a string compare, but yeah, that's a problem with self-learning code, right? And lack of documentation. I'll be a bit slow today because we've got a few things to check out. So pause video analysis and topics. Hey, that's working still. Yeah, let's see. I should be able to maybe check it, play it back. Remember, I don't need none of that crap now. Remember, you can give me a tip, like Super Chat, but it uses OBS instead now. Tips from $1. Go there. And if you want to donate a couple bucks every month automatically, subscribe star. Substar, call it. And if you've seen my last video, you can go to the Merc store as well. Of course, all these links are on the About tab as well. And you can see some of the cool stuff I bought for myself. And how well it come out. Although some of them I would have expected to be scaled up bigger. If you buy a bigger t-shirt, you expect the graphic to automatically expand to the extra area, wouldn't you? But it doesn't seem to do that. Twitch About. I think here we can actually check if the audio is playing. So I'll do that. And see if all the new code's hanging together. I think it comes up here. Already got a croaky voice. Which now? Looks like we can play it. Looks like we can play it. So audio sounds good. Play it. So audio sounds good. The lag's not too bad either, is it? The lag's not too bad either, is it? Couple of seconds here. Okay, can we scroll back on this or not? Okay, can we scroll back on this or not? Okay, can we scroll back on this or not? Okay, can we scroll back? I can't see how you can just scroll back on it. I can't see how you can just scroll back on it. I can't see how you can just scroll back on it. It doesn't seem to have an option there, does it? Okay, let's have an option there, does it? Okay, play the intro. Play the intro. Probably get an echo. Play the intro. Probably get an echo. Play the intro. Probably get an echo. It's weird. It's weird. Now it's got a long start because that's how long it takes the software to kick in. Because that's how long it takes the software to kick in. 2 second echo, is it? Yeah. 2 second echo, is it? Yeah. 2 second echo, is it? Yeah.
Hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving.
This is crazy.
I'm finding love. I'm hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving.
Yeah, it looks like it's working. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Echoes of echoes, look at this. Infinity. Look at this. This is why you need separate devices to check, obviously. This is why you need separate devices to check, obviously. This is why you need separate devices to check, obviously. Yeah, get rid of the echo now. Come on. So, who we got out there? Crazy start today, but we'd done a few changes. Windows update. I've updated the mixer, hopefully get rid of that crackle noise. I've almost need to find some time to write some code that can detect it. It's not quite easy code to write. For our brains to interpret it is easy, but to get a computer to interpret it just shows how amazing our brains are that can detect crackle, right? To write it in code, you got to use all sorts of methods, FOIA analysis probably, and to see if it's peaking in a certain location. Crackle's a very hard one to detect though. It's quite varied, and a lot of it's to do with digital delay because of the software bugs, right? The buffer's not streaming it at a fast enough rate, so it gets missing data, which creates a little quick noise. So yeah. But this is what plagues the men in black. Love those kind of eras. Yeah, so I see we got 2 watching now. Was that because I was playing the thing, or we got someone out there? Area 51, you out there? Just say hi in the side chat, let me know who you are. What else do we need to talk about in the general chat side of things? Well, if you've not seen my last live response to GUFON, unfortunately no one told me it had crackle, right? So it sort of ruined the episode, but I broke down all the lies that he was saying about me. So last time I said my subs are going up, and they are. You can see YouTube has 70 gone up in the admin panel, but if we go and check it on the main stats again, it says, is it updated? No, still says 4.6, right? And it should be 4.7. So I've put a feedback to Google asking us why is it a good 10 out there, and no response as usual, no fixes. But that's not the point. I wasn't referring to just YouTube subs. I was referring to my alt media subs, which is BitChute ones. You could see when I was talking about it, my cursor key was underneath the BitChute subs. And as you can see, that's gone up. I don't know if it's 20 this time, but certainly has gone up a lot since last time. Maybe 12, 13. I don't know. What was it? 8.1. But still, it's 4 to 20 subs a day. Sometimes, right? And looks like it's averaging about 50 new subs a week on BitChute alone. So yeah, not everyone's leaving me, and all my friends have left me. In fact, that's not true at all. Just absolutely cobblers that comes out that guy's mouth. Of course, he was mocking me for mumbling again and allergy nose blocks. It's how pathetic, childish these people are, right? And he also threatened to strike me again, which I took a clip off and forwarded it to Team YouTube. They're quite aware of their threats now, hopefully, and I've had a few good responses. Let's see. I'll just read out the comment, actually. It's well worth reading out. It was a bit of a shock considering all the mindless trolls that have been coming and attacking me. So it's on this one here. Is there more? Okay, you probably can hear the crackling. Oh, was it not playing? I did try to improve it in the editor. Ah, it's gone on the other screen again. So, for this. The comment is what we're focusing on. I'll just check the audio, and it sounds really clear my end, so hopefully it's going out on Google. I do a check the sound going out to Google, but it doesn't always work for some reason. So you can see I've been trolled to death from the GUFON lot that don't even watch what I said, right? But yeah, I've pinned this comment here from Steve Probs. It's an amazing comment, really, and that's the kind of people we want in our group. So we tried to invite him over, but whether he will. So, as a few of the attackers were doing, they're putting all their comments in pure caps, right? Which means they're like kids shouting at you. Caps, I don't comment at all, just watch, but I will say this much as a silent viewer until now. First off, I would write at Team YouTube support on Twitter and highlight the timestamp 2012 that we choose not to take him down, we can. This comment is actually dangerous to any content creator using fair use, which is most YouTubers. You should make it public there on YouTube, which I have done, and I've told them I've done it in the past, and Google just ignores it. Right, and this guy should be struck off YouTube just from rule breakages and threats, right? And of course third phase as well, because they're using him as a mouthpiece, right? So they're really the puppet masters. YouTube, Twitter for public record just in case. Yep, I document everything, mate. I'm working on a movie called well, I won't ruin it, but it will come out and everybody will be enjoying it, I'm pretty sure. I would also make a video with this guy on loops saying he can take you down. Well, there was something in the works that includes that sort of stuff, right? For using what is obviously fair use. He's obviously a bad actor on the tube and clueless on what he's talking about. Out there has the right to do what he's doing, even if you disagree with the way he goes about it. From what I can see, he has done nothing wrong as far as YouTube TOS goes. The biggest insult to someone's intelligence is this coupon deflecting, saying I'm going to expose you, focusing on nothing but subscribers. Who cares? Out there is so efficient at exposing the truth, it's hurting this guy and his ilk. One person, and I know other people are noticing what out there is doing here. Things are getting awkward for this guy, aren't they? Okay, it needs to scroll down. The coupon radio shill guy is obviously on the take and getting tickled down views and or exposure, which is nothing by Google standards, not that it matters anyway. He will sit there and watch a hubcap or car parts flying around and say, wow, what is that? And he does. I don't know. It could be anything. Yep, that's right. He says it could be this, and it's just opinion again. Instead of just doing some analysis like I do and trying to pin it even further down to one thing from a list, that takes a wee bit of skill. And you got to look for the signatures, right? And if you do it enough, the signatures start to pop out, you know. Mask in errors, the object totally in focus more than it should be, and it's moving along, and it should have some motion blur, that sort of stuff, right? You should be able to look at video and know if it's CGI versus a real, or reflection, or bird, or balloon. He claims to be a balloon expert for 17 years doing it, right? But again, he's got all that wrong, and he attacked me about the balloon. So I'll be covering all that again eventually and just showing you how wrong he is about balloons and what he said I said when I didn't say that. So yeah, this is the thing. This guy's always twisting and taking things out of context to suit his narrative, right? And his followers just go along with it, right? He cherry picks sentences and chops off the front bit. You know, when I said across all media my subs have gone up 20 or whatever I said, he cut that bit out, right? And then he started going on about me calling someone fat. Yeah, so who cares? I'm fat, and I was always called fat at school. I was bullied to hell. But fat is just also a description. If someone's got fat, they've got fat, which is what I was using. I wasn't using it to harass someone. I wasn't saying she's fat and ugly. And all that sort of stuff, you know, as a name calling. I was doing it as a descriptive word. And that's the difference. These guys go out the way to mock, try act being me, and it's hurtful, but that's what they want it to be. But I don't lower myself down to that kid level mentality, right? The school bully. Anyway, let's move on. If anyone can do it, it's cheap, low-hanging fruit. It doesn't take talent or any type of skill, which is great if it's honest. He also tries to copy old, out-of-date Howard Stern skits. He didn't think people would notice. Well, I did, because of out there showing his clips, which he can legally do 24/7. YouTube, search Howard Stern radio show, Elvis in Heaven, January 1995, and Howard Stern show, Homeless Jeopardy, 1999. So what's that? Jeopardy that he was going on, that he invented it, right? So obviously he's got it from another person. And he converted it into a UFO version. He has a tiny viewership himself after years on YouTube, and comes across as if he established a large following. No, he didn't. He only accelerated, didn't he? Because of teaming up with the frauds. The big channels out there. If you're constantly getting fed, go and join this from other channels, of course you're going to grow twice as fast as me. But I'm doing pretty good still. Despite I'm meant to be hated and attacked all the time. Let's see, where do we get to? He's counting views and likes as if it matters. Which, yeah, it doesn't really matter, because as you know, we might have 3,000 subs, but only 1 watches or 2 watches, right? On the live shows, but 300 may watch it offline. 300 to 500 across all platforms, right? Which is only what, 10% of the subs, which is pretty bad. But as you know, YouTube doesn't actively promote my stuff, and if you look at the notification stats, only 5% have it turned on to be notified when new upload is done. But unless they join Twitch and subscribe, which has a verification, right? It verifies your email and stuff like that before you can come on and chat on the side, right? So you can't be sort of anonymous. It does do a check, so maybe it puts people off, but it does keep your chat a bit cleaner from trolls. So you can see it's quite a long comment here. Counting views. Where do we get to? Views, if it matters. This is to distract from the out there channel, is actually proven with solid examples for showing what these people are really up to. It's like exposing magician's tricks. Well, I did do a few tricks in my past and know how you can deceive people. So that comes in handy when you're looking at frauds trying to do the same things with videos, right? What matters is the content out there is showing that this is destroying them. Here, and the person that has been busted calling out there the liar is actually ironic. It seems like this cheap coupon radio guy just got really desperate and decided to work for what is equivalent to a tabloid online fake news site, because he wanted to get somewhere. In ufology, bashing this man for speaking his mind while using analysis is picking apart obvious fakes and things that are not UFOs is his right. Doing while showing anyone's clip with or without permission is the legal right. Of course they would try silence him. If you are part of the growing hoax community. Fighting for views out there is going to make you want to scream. A thorn in the side, right? The attack on fair use is completely absurd and 100% against YouTube's TOS. Any established YouTuber would be seriously offended by people filing false claims on someone making videos. However, community standard is something different, right? And this guy also breaks a lot of community standards, as I pointed out in that last live I did. And Google turns a blind eye to it. Because if they strike them, then they lose most of their income, right? Because you can't do live shows, you don't get super chats, and that's where the bulk of the money's coming from. Not advertising, especially on small channels, right? Most of it comes from donations. Well, in my case, it doesn't come from anywhere. I got a few hardcore fans that do pay monthly. Well, I actually got one left. But anyway, so be it. I don't care. I started this out of my own pocket, and I still pay a lot of stuff out of my own pocket. Because I do this for the topic. I enjoy what I do. And it would be good if there was less noise, so we can actually do more research on more possible real cases, right? But someone like me has to call out the noise, and that helps the other researchers out there to focus on the real ones out there. And really, this is why you need to be part of a MUFON, I guess, so you might actually get to go investigate real cases. Most of them, 99%, maybe debunk, you know. People that watch too much of Third Phase of the Moon don't know what they're watching, and record it on video and stuff, and it turns out to be mundane stuff. This is why they need to educate themselves with my channel, because I show the steps. Well, I try to. Everything costs money. That flight radar, I hardly ever use it, and was paying, what, $5 a month for it. Really, they need to, you know, buy a bulk thing where you only get charged per use or whatever, rather than it being weekly, monthly, yearly. Like you need to say 100 users, right, for $10 would be a lot of fairer membership, but they don't offer that sort of stuff. You sort of get that on what do you call it, the old news channels that you can download stuff on. What they call it now? Terrible. Yeah, can't think of the word. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's an old system where people could upload in chunks onto a thing and assemble the stuff from downloading it through like an old text system, like an old bulletin board system. It's still used. Let me see. Let me see if I can remember what that's called, because I don't use it anymore. Let me just get that down. We use a thing called alt bins. What do we call it? Someone out there would know. Let's see. It uses various search sites. NZB. Bin search. What do we call these things? What would you call that old system? Yeah, right. I can show you here. Right. This is the old system of how you used to upload stuff to a bulletin board system. And this chat, but it got used for also sharing various public and also illegal files, of course. What do you call this stuff though? What's the general name for it? Doesn't tell us here, does it? But you have to buy chunks of data. Ah, Usenet. That's the word I was looking for. It's actually in the name of the server I connect to. Usenet is a really old system. Unfortunately, it was used by pirators and it's become less useful and it's just full of junk. Search. So you can search for anything like dogs, right? And find chats on dogs. But also a lot of... what happened there? Did it crash? Okay, so you can go to these searches and brings up a list of things, right? And a lot of it will be dodgy stuff as well. So it's a good way to get viruses. Ebooks. Most of it's pretty boring. But yeah, you can see that I don't use it much anymore. You probably do one with UFOs. I don't have anything on there. So Usenet is the word I was looking for. So this is a tool that you can buy. I think I paid $20 for it. Gets updated. And integrates search engines to NZBs. News Usenet files, right? So I did a search on UFOs, but you can make any head or tail what crap's in that. UFO and unpaid taxes. So it looks like a ebook there. I don't know if it's legal or free or not. And that's about it on UFOs. That's all we got, I think. I know, 90 pages here. Goes to the next one. And if it's red, it's got missing chunks of data. But you can see people are encrypting their names now. So what they do is they put a random name there. So that means the copyright trolls, they call them, they have to download it and check it. And they need also probably a password, right? So now everybody's uploading stuff encrypted just to get around piracy, right? UFOs and nukes. There's another book there, probably. So that's the sort of thing that people used to share, you know. Had their own sighting videos before YouTube and all that come around. Anyway, it's got a sidetrack there, but may come in useful for people to know that. So it's another way to get to old bulletin boards, basically. Old bulletin board system, which is still used. Hey, Area 51, you did join us. Does the audio sound alright this time? Because from my end it sounded really perfect this time. No noise on it. If it ever sounds bad to you, just let me know, because it may be my end and not your end. Although last time I believe it was your end where you said it sounded like it was sounded like underwater. But I don't think Crackle to me sounds like underwater. Alright, so where did we get to? Any established YouTuber would be seriously offended by people filing false claims on someone making videos. Well, they already did with Dr. J, right? I did a 4-minute clip where I was saying this guy is lying. Look at his body language. But they still put a court copyright claim against me. Any established YouTuber, blah blah blah, commenting on them, small channel or big. Why they aren't taking this man down? Because they cannot take him down, but you bet they would like to. this man being me, I guess. Didn't someone already file a false claim on the Out There channel account? Yes, Dr. J Radio. Any seasoned YouTuber knows if they were to file too many false copyright claims on a person using a legitimate fair use, they themselves would be at risk of being demonetized or even terminated for filing the false claims. Well, you'd expect so, wouldn't you? But Google has double standards from what I'm seeing. They cannot get Out There taken down because he hasn't broken any of the YouTuber's TOS. Don't assume people aren't watching what's going on here. Keep publicity. Keep publicly threatening channels on YouTube with taking them down for using fair use is a bad idea. Good luck Out There. We're watching. Okay, we finally got there in the end. Let's move on to the less drama side of things. But you can see all these attacks I get does get me down a wee bit, you know. And it does slow me down, right? And of course I put out my Merc video yesterday. So if you haven't seen what I got, go and check it out. And still, there was a couple of bad comments on there. And, there's any more? I'll just go back to this one again. And of course, there was a lot of bad comments here too. And of course, they were just troll accounts, right? Some guy was using 2 accounts and I called him out. So, Dan, thank you there. You gave a good comment there too. I'm not sure if they disappeared because Google's always cleaning up the comments. Steve is there still. GUFON has an obsession with you. He obviously adores you. I watched that show he did and he offered his olives to you. He goes on about you on average nearly every 2 shows he does. He is just a fanboy of the Out There channel. I was calling him a bully the other right, but I think it's part of dementia he has with part rational lunacy brought on by the drugs he smokes, and he is forced to attempt to sabotage successful channels for third phase as they have fantasy issues. You shouldn't get too downhearted by them, just wind them up. GUFON's donations are just off his family members. Well, probably from his radio show too, a couple there. His crew aren't smart enough to tango with real malicious intent. He couldn't take a girl's I can't read that out. Pants down, mind bring a channel down. Hi from Lenta, keep up the good work, thank you. Can we be friends? I think there's a troll count. Okay, so yeah, I think some of the other comments may have got wiped, or they're in replies. Let's have a look. Long Island Bigfoot. You don't have to address it at all. You can choose to just step away. Unfortunately, I can't because it was a character attack. It was lying about me, and I had to put the record straight that the subs he had totally taken out of context again. And Survivor Man, I think it might be even the same as the Bigfoot guy. He might have 3 accounts. If you really want to rid ufology of all the bad noise, all you have to do is shut up. We know you blatantly lie. You are a jerk. Look in the mirror, be a man, and just admit it to yourself. Well, I haven't lied. People keep saying I'm lying, but I back up everything with proof, right? Some things I don't show publicly because it's my own business, but I can prove that I wasn't lying. It's not like I got a camera on a tripod filming what I'm doing behind the scenes all the time, but I probably could set up something like that to show you I wasn't sleeping. It was a stage prank just to see if these fools would take it up again. So yeah, they did. Just as expected, they were going to use it for character assassination, and even LG did as well. Mr. Lion's Ground, the Mr. King that's meant to be the best dude on the internet, right? And of course, I think some comments have vanished there, because I'm pretty sure Plex did a reply to those guys. This is a problem I have with Google. It keeps removing the best comments. Maybe it's under this one. It could be on this one. There's a Plex there. Yeah, alright, it's under that one. Whew, I thought maybe there's playing around with Plex's comments too. 100% sock puppet counts. How dumb can you be? So there you go. Using multiple accounts, are we? And so we've got another account and Survivor Man here. So I think maybe 4 accounts here might be the same guy. I actually sound like a hypocrite. I'm not trying to be mean. Well, it sounds like it, doesn't it? But you sound like an angry little kid. Do I sound angry, guys? Maybe I'm a bit annoyed of all these idiots that don't even bother listening to what I have to present. They're the school bullies, right? So this one here is also wrong. You didn't really do anything that proves you are right, and they are what? Wrong. Just words. It's a Jeep pulley, spelt wrong. I could show you side by side ones that's identical, but you didn't. So, and this guy's another idiot, didn't listen to what I said. I show you my media sites I upload to videos and the sub counts. Are you blind? I always back up my claims with proof. Okay, again I said I have that should be shown. Let's just edit that. I have shown full breakdowns in my live shows or special episodes. You have to watch these about the pulley and side by side. It's not rocket science to see CGI, how the object never blurs when moving, etc. As I said, I have 2 degrees, real quarrels in tech and science, and tutor in computers, worked for CAD-CAM, I suppose, CAD-CAM College, and so on. Here's a side by side. Okay, well, let's just bring this up anyway, and this just proves they're using that pulley. And so let's just put it into a new episode, because I know they'll probably be watching. So let's just bring it up here. This is an episode I did back when 2018, which was also meant to be after the period when they're meant to have changed, right? And they're still using this footage from today on their Amazon Prime.
You handle it so professionally, and you guys get better all the time. And, you know,
Alright, so this is the car pulley. Notice they got a bigger close-up of this one to the promo, right? And it's not so blurred out. But I do enhance it with various filters.
just all the greatest shots. And, you know, I'm really proud that...
So that's the one they show of it moving along, and that's all they show, right? A lot more blurry, a lot less detail because it's not so zoomed in. So if that was actually moving with someone actually filming it, you'd expect to see some motion blur You can see the tracking's off.
It's a hoax. There's no flying saucers. Our government is telling us the truth. Everything is what it appears to be.
Alright, so here's my enhancements of the most close-up image we could get. This one here. And I know they were got Jeep, and so I looked for Jeep water pumps. I just said car up here, but it's really a Jeep. You can see it's got extra bolted copper plate on the top there with the bolts, which is missing on the one I could find online. I couldn't find it with the bolts already attached, right? And I think it's got something else maybe underneath here, maybe where the bolts attached to. Probably lights. Remember there's another video of the same object where it was glowing red and white with lights, right? So it makes sense they could have the bolts down here and actually attach lights that makes the whole thing glow underneath, and through the little holes through here where the fan belt goes. But you can see it's identical. Probably made it simple to make like a 3-minute debunk video, right? But I could have spent hours on it and shown you how and spin it around and make sure it's the same angle and overlay it and all that sort of stuff I could have done. But really, how much do I have to do? And GUFON, they don't put up any CGI, and if they did, they had it removed. BS, they do. Here's another one, another car park. I didn't do this one. I'm not sure if they're still using this one or not, but what do you think that is, right? Anyone that works on cars should be able to recognise what that is. Here we go. What do you think it is, guys? Okay, so one of them is clearly another pulley. Again, it could be a Jeep one, I'm not too sure. I didn't manage to find a side-by-side for that one, obviously. And this one here that we saw flying around, it looks like a spinning top, is actually a thermostat. They come in various designs, but they have roughly the same function. Like they have holes at the bottom to let steam, hot water through when it gets too overpressure, and it has a membrane here that releases the pressure when it goes above a certain critical point. So it's called a thermostat, model unknown here. So yeah, maybe they're just like going around car yards for old parts that look like UFOs, and the old cousin bros claim they receive an email, and they're getting rid of all their CGI currently, but they're still using it, obviously, in latest footage. Total hypocrites. I think Blake's brother created all these videos. I'd like to see them actually produce evidence that they received an email. You know, even if they show it on a screen and have a camera aimed at it, and show us blocked out names on emails. Because I don't think you'd better send us an email, right? You'd have to send a Google Drive link, which would have an identity behind it, and they can prove it's not their account. All sorts of things. I'd like to see them on voice lie detector tests and proper lie detector tests if they want to prove the. But this is a thing. If you were a hoaxer and you saw the light become a born again Christian or whatever, you would expect to have your channel, you know, you delete your channel, start over again, because the channel was built on lies. So why keep expect people to forgive and let all those people that they built up from the lies to keep watching that channel? Should start over fresh and see how many rejoin, right? because they're trying to near that 1 million, so they get the play button. Hopefully Google wakes up before then and says, nah. Why should we give a play button to someone that creates fake stuff, right? So yeah, re-uploaded that on the various alt medias to make sure people are aware about it, but now that's in the stream, it's also available. A wee bit of it anyway. Anyway, how many times do I have to keep going over this stuff? People just don't listen anyway. So let's get on to the current stuff. Again, this is probably going to be a 2-hour show, but just hang in there. Alright, so first off, there's a Reddit post. I got this photo from my dad this morning. He's not on Reddit. He took it yesterday. So what's UFO photos like? Boring. Because often they don't see it with their own eyes, right? And they only look at it after. Which turns out to be artifacts, bugs, and birds, right? 2:30 whilst watching a BAE 146 doing tags at Doncaster Sheffield Airport. He was facing north with the sun behind his left. So we got some information there at least. And he didn't notice the object until he looked at the photo. Blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't say whether he was outside or behind a glass panel either. So we haven't got all the information there. That's why he submit it to MUFON. So this is a photograph here. And let's see if we can save it and enhance it. There we go. And you can see another contrail, which looks like it's coming down, but it's not. It's either going upwards, horizontally, or slightly downwards and horizontally, and it looks like it's vertical because he's aiming the camera upwards, right? So it changes the whole perspective, right? He's looking underneath the planes flying overhead, coming into land. But it just shows the contrails do happen close to the airports, right? It depends on the layer of cold air currents, right? Forms crystals. So let's have a look. I haven't got the folder across. Folder, downloads. Area 51, you still out there? Or have you gone to work or sleeping? So let's open that up in the editor. And I'll give you my thoughts on it. We haven't got much to go on. Okay, so they're saying it's like a boomerang craft. Now, it looks like it might be closer to the image than the plane contrail in the background there. And it looks like it might be closer than the plane, right? So they're saying it's a TR3B. Some of the people that have no clue. We know the sun's on the left here, like you said. You can see on the left side of the photograph, it's more exposed, right? You got the sun coming in. The sun coming in this way, right? Looks like it's coming in this direction. So that then adds in the possibility, could that be a reflection? So let's just grab a frame. Is it doing it? Paste into a new image. It seemed to go too quick. It sort of threw me off there. Maybe the new improvements are working. Still says like 60% CPU at the moment. Okay, looks like we've got almost a double image there. Could it be going through a doubled layer glass panel? And straight away, to me, it looks like an edge of a phone, smartphone. The sun reflecting off from the left, catching the edge of the phone, and it's reflecting off a window. That's my guts on it. Let's run it through some filters. It never does it when it's at the bottom. It's a bug. Okay, even simple brightness, contrast. Could it be two plane contrails that are sort of intersecting? There's another possibility. But to me, it looks like it's got like a different pattern to it. It could be two reflections from double glazed windows. But it does kind of look like it might be something solid here, and looks like it might be something there. So let's run it through, see what we're looking at. So it could be partial contrails. It could be one contrail going this way, and another one could be just a reflection, or even a plane that went the other way and it's broken up the contrail. So we've got possibilities, but does it look like a flying wing? I suppose it sort of does as well, but you can see how it fades out here. It sort of gives it away that it can't be a solid craft, but it's going to be a cloud or reflection. And here we go. So now we start to see there's other reflections happening, right? See here, it's got a dark bit here which kind of looks like a back of a smartphone. So whether that's a double image, or maybe that's just the total edge of the smartphone, even with like a black insert going around the outside of the phone on some sort of cover. It kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Seems to be a lot of extra reflections here. I reckon it's filming through a window. But we'd have to look and ask the guy to confirm it. See if my suspicions is right. So we can make it into a boomerang craft, and even though you can see straight away it's not symmetrical, and you wouldn't build a craft that's not symmetrical. Now that's called adding in artifacts, right? That's why I move it around a lot. That's overexposed, but we can see more reflections. Definitely looks like a reflection in a window. Whether it's double glazed or not. Looks like there's something down here too. So he's aiming it at the sky. So let's work this out. He's aiming it backwards, looking upwards. But is it one of those big windows in the airports? Or could it be reflecting off a window back at the phone? There's another possibility. Could be standing next to a window, and it's causing a reflection on the glass off the phone. Well, there you can see there's a difference in colours of the white. We've changed some of it to a different shade of blue there. Still looks like the edge of a smartphone to me. So maybe what we can do, I was meant to keep it normal. Let's actually see if we can find a smartphone and see if the dimensions fit it, right? Did it say which smartphone he was using? Sun reflecting of a corner of a gear shifter box. See, there you go. Someone's close to the answer. The smartphone is obvious sense, right? Second reflection as well is clearly through glass. Right, so someone's agreeing with me. Double reflection gives that away. Your friend is lying to you, you're given bullshit details to make this more interesting. Okay, I actually didn't read all that before the show because I didn't have time. I was given to me by Plex. I just looked at the photo, because I don't like to influence my own thinking, and I like to read the comments after, not sure that's an artifact or lens flare. It's not a lens flare, it's definitely a reflection, a bit like you get on the space station cameras, right? Where the sun comes up, it reflects off a part of a spacecraft which is white, and it shoots it right at the glass panel that they're filming through. Creates a reflection just like this. But yeah, the frauds and GUFON out there would go, wow, they're covering up. Definitely a reflection. Looks like the most thing was said to be a Samsung. Here we go. Did he say it was through a window though in here? The debunkers finally see something unexplained, eh? One day all you debunkers finally see something explained. Well, I have. I got Mojo's video up there that I can't explain away so easy. You took a picture of an airplane. It looks like you have some COVID and scratches on your potato camera. Dust, lenses, imperfection. No, it's definitely a reflection. He's got the sun behind him. It's bouncing off the phone, which then is reflecting off the window that he's filming through. It's so simple, really, but let's have a look. Oh my god, he spends 4 hours debunking a simple reflection. Yeah, but at least someone does it properly. No, it weren't just the image of a phone. Comes in lots of different cases, right? And looks like it might have a double edge on it. Metallic metal case. Could be something like that. Something else, we need to see the actual phone he's got. Samsung Galaxy A50. So there we go. And you can see here it's got black and it's got a silver edge on it, which is perfect for what we are trying to say. So let's just save it and see if we can line it up. I don't think I'm about to get through all my tabs today again, but we'll see. Of course, we need to talk about that fake news that came out about the debris from FOIA requests as well. Because I see that Third Phase put up something about it as well. And of course, they never bother researching and seeing what the experts out there say about FOIA documents. The key one being the Blackvault. He's an expert on FOIA documents, right? But yeah, we'll just play a clip of his thing probably and lay it to rest that it's fake news. Okay, add to a layer. So we need to erase some of this because let's see, he's aiming it up. The sun's reflecting off the side. I think we'll probably go with the black one. We need to use some magic on it. Although it's not going to be perfect, it's going to have little bits also it. But that'd probably be good enough. Deselect. Okay. Shame we can't see more of the edge though. I wonder if there's a better edge one out there. You can see when it makes the thing too big, right? Okay, let's scale it up to proportion. I have to zoom out so I can see the handles now. This is a bug as far as I'm concerned. Bug in the software where it makes the size of the images bigger for some reason. See, the handles are out this and that way now. Where's the drag handles gone to? This is ridiculous. Can't even see them. Alright. There we go. Okay, we need to line it up. And it's not doing very sensitive, is it? It's jumping right around. Sort of matching up though. I have to use that now. So there we go. It would be on an angle, wouldn't it? Start to really match up, and we can sort of quite see the edge on it. Now we've got the edge here. So he's aiming the camera up at the plane. Like that. There we go. And the rest of it's like overexposure. Just click that off there for a minute. Be right around the edges there. I think it's double image because it's going through glass. That sort of makes like the edge of the phone, doesn't it? That's how you do it, folks. That's how you debunk stuff. It'd be good to have more of a side image on it though. And there might be one out there where someone's got it in the hand. But I don't think we'll need to waste much more time on that one. Of course, there's an edge one there. Kind of looks like it's got the double thing happening. So is that like through the glass, or is it just expanding it more? See, look, there's a black line through the middle. Two white edges. There you go, look. It looks just like that in the window reflection. So it could be just single layer of glass, not double, like I said, and it's actually the full reflection off the side. And that one's busted. Reflection of the camera and the window. I'll push the link to it if you want as well, because we used it, and it's not really a scammer, but it might be. TR3B with jet debunked, or solved, I should say. Solved. And it wasn't even on third phase, I don't think, or GUFON, that one, was it? I had another one up with a white blob moving, which could have been anything, because I didn't actually know what it was, because I didn't have a link to it. So I could only see it on his really small thing, because he doesn't know how to do what I do here. He doesn't know how to zoom in You can see how out of focus that is. See, you have to have some technical skills, right? So there you go. So now we'll work backwards, I suppose. So it's all the latest stuff. More BS from GUFON and third phase of the moon. Can clearly see it's part of the mountain peak where the snow has melted. Now I'm not too sure anyone actually can tell me the coordinates of that. Even when I zoomed in, it looks like it could be 84. And that was the enhanced one. And that was the normal one, was it? I don't know. That might be the same. 64. But yeah, look at it. They're saying it's a crashed UFO. And you can see here, this looks like the rest of the bits around, right? There's the original image. Down there, there's the zoomed in bit. Yeah, if that was the flying saucer, what's all these other little bits around? Looks to me like it's like a peak of a mountain where the snow has melted and it's showing the dark volcanic mountain structure. Because remember, the Arctic has like 72 volcanoes down there, and some of them are active still. So yeah, I don't know if they've got any coordinates now. Let's just bring them up and have a look. Killing the Noise, part 6. This one should have been called. So is that the one there? Mystery Giant Spider. Looks like we've got some more coming out already. I was going to talk about fuel cells because someone said they're only used to produce electricity, but I have found some other reports about developments in jet engines and how they're possibly using fuel cells and electricity, how to do jet engines as well as rockets. So I'll go over that if I get time. Maybe if I don't, I'll push it. Because I skimmed over a lot of stuff there that I've seen in the past about various techniques and ideas, right? So I didn't want to go over it and make it like a 1 hour show about a experimental flying taxi, right? What the heck is it? Oh yeah, so they're talking about the UFO debris, which I'll probably come back to. Again, they got 32,000 views on it for fake news. And what, Dr. J, who cares? Yeah, so let's have a look.
In just 50 minutes from...
There we go, it's garbage. Here we go.
We're gonna do a little investigation and reveal something that I don't think has been seen before. And
okay, so here obviously is missing data. As you know, they stitch together a lot of videos. You can see it's different color here, obviously taken on a different day. To this, it looks less in focus. That one looks like it's really clear in focus. And you can start to see the cracks in the snow and dark crevices. And here, just on the edge here, it looks like a flying saucer, even better than the one they're looking at. See that there? It looks like an edge of a flying saucer that just crashed into the snow. So I could do better fakery than these guys. Like, that looks like a UFO there. But they're claiming it's here. There, that little tiny one. So they go back in time and then finally it reveals itself. But apparently if you got the coordinates and plug it into online Google Earth where the data has been updated, the object is still there. They haven't masked it out at all. I know they do mask out sensitive military bases and nuclear stations now.
Luther Scott sent this to my Instagram. If you want to go check out our Instagram imagery, but if you go back in time, you can still see
the different colors. That's definitely done with a different satellite camera technology, right? Maybe it can go through cloud layers, right, and see the actual ground underneath. And you can see here how blurry that one is.
as I'm at 2014.
Okay, so he's going back in years. Now you can see here how it's still, you know, how they sort of have blurry images until, you know, compression layers in JPEG, and that it expands out like that. If you go to Gab, where it has the web page loaded in the image, is it Gab? No, Telegram. I'm not sure if I can show you on Telegram to see how you get that blurry effect happening, but if you got Telegram, you know exactly what I mean. It comes out blurry, and then it gradually loads more data off the image down, and it goes into focus, depending how fast your connection is. Yeah, I can't really show you it, but anyway, and they keep going back, and eventually they get this stupid blob here, and it's still a really old photograph. And I bet on the side here it's stitched in with high res vision that the Google's trying to update with. And sure enough, it does look like you can see the line where they're stitched together here. So obviously they've got a new update, and this higher quality than what they used to have, like over here. Alright, you can see how out of focus compared to over here. And there's that edge of the flying saucer now, and looks different color to the rest of the other image over there as well. It was green before, now it's blue. Is it some cloud cover there on the edge as well? I'm not too sure. It could be some cloud cover over top of the edge of the waterway. That's what it looks like. And of course this is going to be an ice sheet or rocks underneath. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at clouds, sea, and the edge of landmass with snow on it. See how that sort of fades off from the edge there like it's ice sheet. So that could even be an outpost, right? It could be one of those portable cargo containers on the snow there with antennas and boxes on top. Calling it a UFO is just absolutely ridiculous. Just like putting up anything for views, right? Downvote there. Okay, looks like we got company, got dogs woofing. You might hear in the background. So apparently this was investigated by Mr. MBB years ago as well. You know what kind of shill that guy is. And he uses crazy filter. Buckle in. What's this buckle in nonsense, right? It's total clickbait nonsense. What they should be doing is put in straight jackets. They should be buckled up and put into a padded cell. Oh, nasty pull. Okay. Let's start a poll. Should Blake Cousins be put into a straight jacket? And you have all the trolls down voting, of course. Okay. So I didn't see any information added. No coordinates, right? And you know they do that now because they know I'm watching. And I can bring it up better quality and put it through filtering and stuff. And I don't know if anyone's said in the comments here. It doesn't look like it, does it? This guy's got the coordinates, but he hasn't told us what they are. So whereabouts are they? You must have tried to read it off the screen. But anyway, you can see it's just garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. What was the other stuff? What are we here? Charlie, shut up. Okay. Antarctic. I think Pixie's mum's finally here to take her back home. She's been here a month. Pixie's a dog of someone that we were looking after. So we'll be back down to one dog again soon. She was enjoying it here though, getting all the walks with Charlie and going to the park and getting lots of food. Well looked after here. What's the next one? GUFON don't know what clickbait means. Alright, so we'll get to that in a minute. So that one's debunked. 33 views now. And what have we got here? Some more garbage. Anytime I see that Jaimie M on there, I know it's fraudulent, right? So, Antarctic Robot. Looks like a giant Arctic ice tic-tac, is it? Now let's have a look. So we got another one from Antarctica, is it?
Captured an object in one of the photographs, and he says it was gone quickly. This photograph was a moment in time that is unexplained at the moment. We're looking at it.
Okay. So it's filmed through a plane window. Could it be a weather balloon? Lower down. Could it be another plane? Could it be a reflection? Could it be a natural phenomenon that you get with ice crystals near volcanoes? You can see how cold it is here. And it's filmed the wrong way as well, portrait.
Again, I have no idea what...
He has no idea, guys, so that's why you should be watching them. Now, I heard someone post a comment on the side chat saying Third Phase is the #1 source for UFO news. Yet they say they're entertainment. So are they a news channel or are they entertainment? They can't be both. You can say news is entertaining, but you can't claim to be entertainment and not and be factual. It's got to be one or the other. So what are we looking at? I don't know. At this stage, there's just not enough information. Ultra zoom in. Kind of looks like a plain contrail, but with something else in front. That looks like a distant contrail. You can see it's slightly expanding on the left to the right. Could that be... Looks like it's going in front of a cloud. That's what it is. There's a plain contrail passing in front. Could it be the moon? Reflection of the sun. The sun's up the top here. So it's cut off the frame. So it could be a lens flare coming down this way because the sun's up here. And that's just a distant plain contrail. And if I take a snapshot and put it through the editor, we can see it a bit clearer. So I think it's two things in one here. It also could be a distant plane, which look like tic-tacs. But it looks like it's behind the contrail, as you can see there in the mini thing. We're not going to get through much today, I don't think, unless I make it into 3 hours. And then I'll be attacked for having such long live streams. But it's the only way we can get through the material, right? I like to keep it smaller. But then I am putting chapters in, so it's like having multiple shows during the week all in one video, right? But I'm doing so many different videos at the moment and putting them up for you. Yeah, so now we got a snapshot of that. My phone can go. Oh, actually, I might just save that sucker for a thumbnail. Ping. Just call it one untitled, that'll do. Now we've got an image saved. That one we don't need. Okay, so let's bring in our clipping. Where's it gone? Well, we've got 2 downloads here. Something crazy happening. Is that it? Yep. Okay, let's bring it in. Shut up, Charlie. Where's JD? I took him out the park the other day and he was chasing the ball just like old days, but he's got this big lump on his leg, and of course the last 2-3 days he's been limping. He really needs it cut off. Serious impacts on him running and jumping, you see. So can you start to see the contrail now? Looks like could be going this direction actually. I thought it was left to right. But it does look like it's thicker this side. Now let's see if we can throw some filters on, make it stand out. Okay. Can definitely see it's behind a plane contrail. So that rules out lens flare, I think. Could be a weather balloon that's reflecting. So it can't be a reflection in the window because it's obviously behind a plane contrail. Could be just one of these bright white clouds, of course. You can see the clouds behind here. But this one's really exposed for some reason. I don't know if we get any more details on it. But it's obviously a bright white light source and we don't know really what it is. Could be the sun reflecting of another white plane, of course, and of course that's going to create a big blob. If it's really bright. It could even have LED lights on. But anyway, definitely a plane contrail or something else. And we know we ruled out lens flare because it looks like it's behind. And it does look the same kind of whiteness as these clouds up here though. So could it just be one of those special clouds that you get, atmospherics. What you call a sphere cloud. Could it be one of these that's sort of formed through ice crystals? They're very rare. What am I doing? Cloud. And let's see what comes out. Cloud sphere. Looks very similar to that, doesn't it? Almost the same whiteness. All the crazy ones. UFOs are cloaking. There you go. There's another good shot there. Looks identical to what we're seeing. I wonder if we can scale it up and do a comparison. Could be a weather balloon as well, reflecting light. I think we'll just move on, I think. If we go back again on that. Yeah, why's it gone slow? It's not doing it. There we go. Let's really zoom into that bit in the middle. Does look like one of these ice clouds though. New image. I suppose we get to hear what GUFON is. 17 years of expertise, I would say it is. Because he knows balloons. Yeah, so although when you put it through the filters there, it looks oh, there you go. Look. If we then get rid of the contrail, I think we're looking at a cloud, right? It does look like it is one of these type of clouds that sort of was started off as a ball and it's sort of broken up there. See that there? It's just definitely looks like a cloud with bits of it breaking up there now. And you can see how fluffy it's looking. So it's not a reflection of a weather balloon in that case. So this is why we keep looking and changing as we go with more evidence coming in. So this just save that one there. That's a really good example. Is it going to lose? What happened there? Something crazy happened. Let me go back. Okay. Well, let's just do that one. We'll make our own image from another image. Come on, Charlie. He doesn't like the great grandkids visiting. He's jealous. If dad or mum touches the kids, he's all jealous because he's meant to be the number one, you see. Now let's just drop it on there. Add layer. Alright, it's a double image, damn it. Let's scale it up proportional. And you can see it could have been one of these that's sort of changing shape now. Again, we'd have to raise or around it. This one's a wee bit hard to get rid of because the magic marker doesn't work if you ain't got a solid colour going around. This one's got lots of cloud cover behind it. Sort of cut off the edge a wee bit there. Close enough though. Now we can sort of move it around. You can see it sort of matches. Yeah, look. Almost made for it, right? It's got the right dimensions. And if it's starting to break up a bit there in the middle. Another one solved. And you can see the ghost image over top. Alright, so better move on. No one solved. But we'll play some more of the video, see what they have to say about it. Pull that one too. Is the audio still working alright? Now I'm paranoid about the audio. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can't hear any clicking, so hopefully it's good. I might just save that one. I don't know what I'm going to use for a thumbnail, but yeah, we've got some good choices now, haven't we? Overwrite the original. Yep, that'll do. So 2 things in one image can look strange. Just close that down. That does seem to be running a lot better though, doesn't it? And some of the stuff needs to be dropped into there. So it tidies it up. Let's see what they say about it.
This could be, unless it's something possibly not of this earth, or otherwise maybe some meta propulsion that we're not aware of, some experimental aircraft.
Blake needs meta propulsion at certain parts of his body.
Could the eyewitness have captured something within Japan's arsenal of assets?
Right, so Japan is well known to have these sphere clouds, because that one I took it from was actually in Japan.
Flying assets. We've got a lot of stuff coming in tonight, so buckle up. But I want to get Brent's opinion of this incredible photograph.
Buckle them into the straight jacket, guys.
Coming in from Japan. Yeah, Blake, we just received this hours ago, and we see that it's been making the rounds. It's just been kind of hitting the net, and we're proud to share this with you right now. It's a great photo. Unfortunately, the quality is a little low. We see pixelation in the entire photo, so I would like to see the full high res of what we're seeing right here, because it would beg to really give us a really clear description of what's going on here. But
so their zoom in is basically the same as mine at the moment.
But then again, we're zooming in close.
But these guys are just talking garbage. What's heavens? Is it locked up? Why is that not talking? Hello? It's only the CPU peak did it. No, what's going on here? Hello? Hello? Something strange. Yeah, look, got no response. Hello? I think it's come back now. Hello, hello, hello. So that's talking alien for you. Something crazy happened there. Men in Black again. I forgot what I was saying now.
We're having brightness and contrast, and you can see this thing pop. You see this spherical white circle in the middle, and this kind of like pillar.
So this is the difference between me and them, right? I actually do run it through some basic analysis and pattern matching, which your human brain's better at than using computers to do it, of course. If you look at this stuff all the time, over 4 years, you get to see the same things in different 3D views, different angles, and it just comes down to experience then.
That stretches through this, and it's kind of a wrapped around it.
Of course, these guys have meant to have been doing it for a lot longer than I have. I've done it for what, 4 or 5 years, 4+ years. How many years they've been doing it, and making millions of dollars at conning all those people out there. So yeah, if they can offer $2 million for bounties, then they must have a few million bucks stored away in the bank account, right?
It's a curious design, to say the least. I can almost say it does look extraterrestrial, if not in the Japanese arsenal of their secret assets.
See, I just listened to that and I just feel really sick. The bullshit that's coming out of these guys' mouths, right? They know it. So what else we got? More blurry images from Google Earth. So what are we doing, Blake? Yes. Blurry image of an island with maybe some man-made buildings on there. And ice blocks around the outside of
Robert James Height, via my Facebook, submitted me a video link to his YouTube channel in regards to some mystery going around the Antarctic of what's on the surface itself. And apparently, people may have seen this of a monolith that pops up. But what's crazy is there's something in regards to the approximate location to this monolith. What's crazy. But before we get to what's really crazy,
so it looks like a strip of missing data, and they've tried to extrapolate it using their 3D stuff, right? Looks like a glitch in their code. Just bollocks, isn't it?
Looking at this photograph coming in from Google Earth, and I don't know, Brent, you got any ideas what this possibly could be? Well, that's a $1 million question, Blake. We're all wondering right here, and that's why we're sharing it right now, for us to really find out the answers. I got my opinions and a certain maybe idea of what this could be, but then again, this is strangely out of place. We're looking at this thing, and it doesn't look anything like anything close or in regards to what we're looking at in the surrounding areas.
Can see a lot of jagged mountain peaks.
It looks something like what I would say an Elon Musk robotic, maybe apparatus is what we're looking at here, because you can see the spindly legs.
So they're putting ideas into your head. This thing here is one of these.
On whatever this is, it almost
a blurry object.
Rather than
could it be a pile of rocks?
Because we have never seen an animal
with some snow down the side that sort of makes it look like it's got legs.
Maybe roaming the ice of Antarctica. I would love to see it. But then again, we're seeing that this picture was taken from Google
This
Earth,
blur.
where it shows it that it's on the ground. So there was actually somebody that placed a camera there to film this location.
Yeah,
so
looks like I might have to wrap up soon.
There's new technology assisting Google that we've never seen. These robotic creatures that assist people in these remote regions. Is this what we're looking at?
You're looking at pareidolia, mate. You know that. Stop conning people. Now let's move on. What else I got?
Open doorways.
Still talking about the same nonsense.
Where you see the step.
The doorway vortex. Oh, here we go. Straight to some CGI. Let's have a look. Ah, look who it is.
Y es extraordinario.
Esta es una de las más claras fotografías de una nave de origen extraterrestre.
So through a frisbee.
To share this photograph with you, and he wants to get the word out, and he wants to get everybody's opinions. What the heck is being captured over Venezuela? A broad daylight sighting of a flying saucer. We don't get to see these flying saucer discs too much anymore.
So where's the video? then we might have a better idea what it is instead of a possible Photoshop. I'm not sure if we can enhance it or not. But anything coming out of that there, I'm straight away skeptical out of South America. Because I know this guy is easily duped, the Jaimie M. And I'm pretty sure he's a fraud in the way he makes lots of money from it, so he doesn't care if it's real or not. People used to take him to UFO Congress, but I think, is he invited along anymore? As people cottoned on to him? So I've been using my new travel mug. I forgot to mention it. And I tried a cup of tea in it today. And it was perfect. Well worth getting one. And I just realised I need a drink. And I got some Coca-Cola in it. With an ice cube to see. It's been sitting there since the start of the show. To see how cold it is still. With just one ice cube. And it's still... because it's not a super hot day today, but it's still got some coldness to it. And the metal, it's metal, double skinned. And you can see it on my last video. And that tastes a lot better because it's cooler than having it in my glass mug that I normally have. So I'm quite happy with that. It'd be perfect for the car, and you can turn the lid and close off the holes at the top. I'm not sure if people have seen the travel mug before. Yeah, so let's run this image. Now lubricated. I'm sure GUFON will make a sloopy sound when he's mocking me again next. He says he's not going to do it anymore. Pigs might fly, as they say. So let's scale it up. So, does look like it's out of focus there. But not really much motion blur. We don't know any, we haven't got the real photograph, of course, which would be the best way in doing it. Sharpen it. Does it give us any clues? It's got a brighter bit here. We'll sharpen it, adds artifacts in. Is it Photoshop? And of course the outside here is part of JPEG compression, right? So we can actually reduce that there. Take well less of the light. So what are we looking at, guys? Certainly has some strange stuff going on underneath if it's a flying saucer. I reckon it could be one of those UFO toys, right? Could be. Let's get rid of the sharpener. Looks like there might be some hole there, hole there. Could it be one of those UFO toys that people play around with? That's remote control. And you can see the sun's coming this direction here.
Anymore. It seems that they're out of the limelight. Maybe new meta.
Esta es una de las más
There's the sun. Looks very low down, doesn't it? I would like to see a video of it. I suppose we're not going to get one. Have we got enough information? Not really. And that's what they do though. They cherry pick things, crop it, and they don't give you much information on it and make it more believable.
Jaimie M has allowed us to share this photograph with you, and he wants to get the word out. And he wants to get everybody's opinions. What the heck is being captured over Venezuela? A broad daylight sighting of a flying saucer. We don't get to see these flying.
So guys, what do you think? I wonder if we can find what it really is. UFO toy. Could be on fishing line. Let's have a look. Fortunately, we only seen underneath. Does look like it's got a outer ring going around, right? This contrast. I wonder if it's one of these phone app fake things, right? Almost look like that could be cloud cover there. You know, it's like one of those, what do you call it, ice holes. I wonder if it's one of those ice holes in the cloud. See, it's got cloud coming through. I reckon it might not be a toy. It might be just be something natural. And the sun's coming down this way, reflecting off the ice crystals. And it looks like it's a solid craft, right? It's one of those damn ice holes. Betcha. It's really interesting. I thought it had like an inside thing going around. But you can see here we've got cloud. It's a damn ice hole. Okay, let's just figure out a toy. We'll have a quick look, see what's out there at the moment. Nazis. Oh, I bought one of these. My one's faulty though, unfortunately. You have to buy 3 from China to get one that actually works properly. You can see there's a lot of toys out there. Some flight and some are decoration. What's that one there? Art station. What's that one? Cool. Shadow. My cousins had the original what do you call it, die cast off that one, and it used to fire a plastic missile out the front with a spring. One of their original copies, you know, the Chinese do it. Alright, that's a magnetic lifting of a spinning disc, which I've got to finish doing my TR3 levitation model, haven't I? I've still got to do that. So it's a matter of finding time. It's just too much to do in a day. Look at this one here. Put that on a bit of string. Bingo, there you go. A bit of fishing line. Yeah, so I reckon it's what they call it. Hole in the cloud. Let's see what comes up. One of these ones, right? Something close to that one there. Like that. And you can see they always have like cloud going into them all over the front. And you can see this one here's got the sun and it's reflecting off. So over a lens flare, that one. But we're trying to find one that reflects off the edge. I wonder if we can find one. Here's another one, perfect UFO. Here we go, they've got the sun going through that one, and you can see the cloud coming in the middle. You'd expect these guys to put it through experts like me and break it down for them. Here's another one, looking from top, from space, is it? Washington landscape, oh no, looking from a mountain, is it? Downwards. So I think we've debunked this one though. It's an ice hole, look, it's like this one here, but different angle underneath. The con artists, these guys. So here we go, we've got the sun up here reflecting off a cloud, creating a rainbow effect, right? But yeah, can't find quite the one. That causes a reflection like that. Could be lens flare, of course. Yeah, of course. That's lens flare. And there's the sun up there. That's the lens flare, taking a picture of one of these ice holes. Cloud ice. Well, that one's almost perfect. Now let's keep on playing it.
Flying saucer disc too much anymore. It seems that they're out of the limelight. Maybe new meta propulsion. They don't need flying saucers, but
here we go. Meta propulsion. Everything is the buzzword of today.
Still receiving evidence in regards to the flying saucer phenomenon. Brett, what's your thoughts on these?
You notice how they dimmed, played around with the colours there to make it look more of a solid craft. You can see here it's still got whispery cloud going over top.
Jaimie. Yeah, Blake, you're exactly right. We're only seeing this kind of interesting aspects of flying saucer disc-like shaped craft in this region, and it's been kind of plentiful.
Here we go, darkening it.
I know last year, 2020, we're kind of breaking the news with these recent sightings right in downtown. For some reason, it's
disinformation. It's a damn hole in the cloud. And here's what? Trump news. Third phase. Oh, that's it, is it? Shame on you, Jaimie. And this thing here being a walking creature. How stupid. So that's the latest one. Where did they put that up? Debunked. We got someone new joining us here. How long ago was that? 16 hours. Okay. So, I think we're done with them today. And of course, this comment I saw on one of their videos. What clickbait do you have for us this time? Third phase of the moon. And here we got Michael Horn for third phase of the moon defending. It's never clickbait. Do you know what it is? Well, GUFON doesn't. Clickbait is when you have a thumbnail and a title that aren't related to the story. Totally wrong, of course. There's always about the story and video. Duh, they're always about the story. Okay, so what's clickbait, guys? Okay. I don't know if we can find a description, but I said here, it is a misleading or hyped up title that makes the user want to click. It's deceptive. So it doesn't matter if the thumb doesn't match the story. The thumb can be clickbait as well, and also the title can be clickbait. Like click now before the government takes it down. That's called clickbait. Wow, amazing UFO capture. That's clickbait. Alright, when it turns out not to be a UFO, because UFO meaning, well, everybody knows UFO generally means alien craft, because it's been treated that way for millions of years. That's probably not millions of years, thousands of years, or whatever it's been coined. Let's see, who was the one that coined UFO? Probably Hynek, was it? But so it's certainly been around since 1940s anyway. The terminology. That's why the government's probably changed it to UAP, right? But what did they call it in the old days, thousands of years ago? Angels, probably. Let's see. Let's just actually look that up. When was the first use of the term UFO used? I wonder if it'll tell us. We've got a wiki, might be in there. The term UFO or UFOB was coined in 1953. There you go. But what did they call it before then? Authored by Donald Keyhole. So there you go. It wasn't Hynek this time. Hynek did the close encounter categories, didn't he? And swamp gas. Famous swamp gas. He regrets ever saying it. But he started off being a debunker for the government and then realised they wanted everything debunked. And there were being something more mysterious to be identified going on, where true science needed to be involved, right? Whether some of those were black ops that they weren't telling him about, or alien craft. So yeah, 53, wasn't it? What did they call? Let's see what the researchers out there say. UFOs before 1900. Try that. Doesn't say, does it? I'm pretty sure out there some of you have probably read books what it may have been called. You can always post it in the comments. What terminologies you've heard out there? Spirits, demons, maybe. What they used to call sundogs. Battle in the skies, right? Where the light sort of bounces off ice crystals. Anyway, that's just something out there for you guys. So, alright, let's see if we can find a definition of clickbait. What is clickbait? I think it's one word. GUFON spelled it with a space in between. And yet the guy originally posted it without a space in. So GUFON's always going on about me and other people don't even know what they're spelling or trying to pronounce a word right. So what did they say? Content whose main purpose is to attract attention, encourage visitors to click on the link to a particular web page. These example here. These recent reports of the show's imminent demise are hyperbolic. Clickbait. So what's hyperbolic? Hype. There you go. Relating to hyperbolia. Deliberately exaggerated. I said hyped instead. Which is the same thing. So, I'm correct. GUFON is wrong. Go and add your comments to that one if you want. What is clickbait? But don't ask GUFON because he doesn't know. You can see how he defends there, can't you? You defend third phase, and he's completely wrong every time. They don't do CGI. They've never done hoaxes. Well, not in the last 5 years. It keeps changing the goalposts, right? So why do I keep debunking them? Because they're the most noise at the moment. So I was going to do fuel cells, but I think I might have to leave it for another day, guys. Some of the things I found out. Alright, but we'll just go over the quick ones here. What else we got? GUFON. Alright, that was on the TV show. I'll come back to that one. Okay, what's this one? Again, it looks like the blob in Antarctica. Didn't I cover that one already? Maybe not. Getting further behind. I might come back to that one. Doesn't matter if I repeat it. Okay, and also the patents update. I need to come back to that one. Yeah, so let's do Scott. I'm not sure what he's been up to. We'll have a quick check of his one before we go. But yeah, obviously it's a rocket launch, and obviously something's been going around the web. So let's have a quick look. Okay, we got some music. He doesn't talk, does he? What's the strange light taken by many residents off the Florida coast on February the 9th? Well, we know there's got NASA down there. We know it's got SpaceX down there. And often we've debunked the SpaceX launches before. So it does make sense, doesn't it? It's going to be a contrail of a rocket. Is it playing? Okay, here we go. Kind of looks like a SpaceX launch, doesn't it? But certainly looks like it's got expanding cloud behind it, and it's going further vertical than it is horizontal. Looks like it's got the cone shape happening. And it's fading, so it's getting further away. So, what has Scott found out? Is it SpaceX? Is it something else? And you can see it's formed portrait the wrong way. UFO, meteorite, or rocket? Here we go. It was a Trident ballistic missile, was it? Submarine launched ballistic missile test. The launch occurred from a submarine in the Atlantic. So it's off the coast there in the sea. So that's kind of a bit of worry. Since Biden's got in, now they're talking war talk with Syria and Iran, and now they're doing rocket launch tests off the coast there. Sort of a bit worrying, isn't it? So it looks like we might be heading for World War III, huh? What do you reckon? The lunch, he's got the N missing, was reported earlier by Dr. Marco. There you go. And so he did some research there and debunked it for us. So I don't have to do it. Yay! So this guy's worked it all out. And locations, is it? Yeah, there's Florida. Obviously they're trying to send a signal to someone. What do you reckon? Some other government? So yeah, I'll just post a link to it if you want to have a look at it if you want. And all the other screen snapshots. Missile launch. So it wasn't even SpaceX this time. Florida. Yeah, thanks Scott for doing that one. We may not always agree with each other. He's a debunker, I'm a truther. Yeah, but I agree with him on that. And of course, the Blackvault saw the viral thing going around, and he talks about it here. And he's the expert on FOIA requests and the information. And he called BS days before Third Phase put out a thing on it.
Brigalia in his article thinks because they termed it that way that they
okay,
are
here's
now
a segment here. He's going on about it.
Of. So, DIA Systems of Records located 5 documents, material to include physical properties, chemical and elemental composition of material, and determination of the material as of terrestrial or extraterrestrial origin. Can't knock the FOIA request. It's seeking some pretty interesting stuff. All of that specific came after setting up, again, Anthony Brigalia in this FOIA request, setting up ATIP, setting up Harry Reid and Elizondo, setting up potentially these metal-like alloy material recovered from UAPs. So he set all that up and was specifically asking about ATIP-related material. Now, there is a part of this that's key, and that's number 5. So put a pin in that because I'm going to come back to it. Here is the actual response from the DIA. And I want to read to you this part of it because this is where I'm guessing the root of all this confusion is. Here's the DIA's letter. This response to your Freedom of Information Act request dated December 27, 2017 that you submitted to the DIA for information concerning requesting all information on test results from the UAP material from Bigelow Aerospace. I'll get back to why that sounds weird. I apologize for the delay in responding to your request. DIA continues its efforts to eliminate large backlog of pending FOIA requests. A search of DIA Systems of Record.
Yeah. So we should thank him for looking into it. He's the expert on that stuff. Looking into this. Or us. Or motion. So. Yeah, did I give him an update? There we go. So, what he's saying here is they did a general statement and the guy sort of cherry-picked bits out of it to say it's alien technology when it's clearly not stated like that.
Records located 5 documents, 154 pages, responsive to your request, and they were released with partial redactions. And the FOIA letter goes into 2 of the the citations, I should say, and the exemptions B3 and B6, which were used to withhold some of the information. They were all unclassified or for official use only. These are what we know as the DIRD reports, or the Defense and Information Reference Documents. So the DIRDs, they total a number of 38 that we have found out through the FOIA, some of which have leaked out. This is one of the first releases in an official capacity, so that part of this FOIA request should be commended. I wish that was the headline because that really is the most important part of this story. This is the first time officially that some of those DIRD reports were released, at least that I am aware of. So kudos for that part of it, but sadly that point was missed. Now I want to go back to that paragraph that I was telling you about, where up here, let me bring out my laser pointer here, the December 27, 2017 that you submitted to the DIA for information concerning requesting all information on test results from the UAP material from Bigelow Aerospace. The reason why I think that that sounds kind of odd is because it is. And I think that maybe that's the root of where this is, because they think, meaning Anthony Bragalia in his article, thinks because they termed it that way, that they are now saying this is UAP material from Bigelow Aerospace. That, to me, is not true. After filing 10,000 requests, you kind of learn that they have these boilerplate responses and generally will copy and paste dates, FOIA case numbers, and the description of the request. Consider those variables. And so you've got your boilerplate letter, and they copy and paste those types of things that are really the only thing that changes throughout their different FOIA responses. I've received, actually just a few weeks ago here in 2021, received a FOIA request that was erroneously dated 2020. And it was because they were using the template. Moments later, I got a resubmission of that FOIA response. The only difference was the date. So a lot of times they use these boilerplate templates and mess up. So this, I believe, was a copy and paste. So for information concerning, then they paste in what it was, requesting all information. That's probably from an internal log. So I dug out the FOIA case log. It's not a match, but it shows you how they kind of summarize things internally. This is the FOIA case log for those 2018 cases. This is the FOIA case number for Bragalia's request. And this is how they summarized it: requesting all information on the ATIP. We know that that's not accurate in their internal log. My whole point here is that's just how they summarize things. So it was probably a copy and paste. That was not an admission that they were releasing UAP debris test analyses in the form of these records. I know that that's dry, but it is important to point out, because again, that's how they operate internally. Going back to the fact that it was interesting that these DIRD reports came out for the first time, because it showed me, because I'm a geek who cares about this stuff, what do they feel they can't release? What can they feel that they have to redact and cite under a FOIA exemption? Now, I'm only showing this because it's widely distributed. I don't like leaked documents. Many of you know that if you are a fan of this channel. I don't necessarily support it. I do believe that there are national security and privacy concerns that need to be maintained. However, this is so widely distributed, there's nothing really sensitive on it. And this is the interesting part of this. Part of what they redacted is kind of public knowledge anyway. So you can see here, the bottom is the leaked version. That is one of the reports that George Knapp had leaked out. The top is the FOIA request release. This is the official declassification, or release, I should say, because it was unclassified, of a very similar document. They're both DIRD reports. You can see here that Defense Warning Office is exempted under B3. Now, this is an exemption that's cited where something is exempt by a statute, an internal statute. What I'm surprised, though, is the DWO, or Defense Warning Office, has been known for years. So I'm a little surprised to see that. I'll drive home that point in a moment. But down here, CLARDWO3, that's just going to be the Defense Warning Office, one of their either routing codes or a particular person.
Yeah, so that's probably enough on that one. John does go on a bit. So I'll just give you the link to that so you can watch the full thing if you want to. John on Debri. So nothing burger, according to him. And of course, let's have a look at UFOofinterest to see if there's anything popping up there. To just round off today's show. Scott, here we go. UFOofinterest. Let's see what he's got up today. Okay, what do we got coming out? Interest in sighting of SpaceX Starlink satellites. Okay, let's have a look. Yep, a line of them. Fairy lights in the sky. Okay, we've seen it. UFO clears contrail. The video has gone viral on Reddit. Okay, so what have we got here? Don't know if I've seen that one. It's not the one we were looking at before, by the looks of it. What the airflow was debunked by UFO Theatre. Okay, so there's an old fake exposed a while ago. Okay, so it's a CGI. That one. So if you come across that one, CGI. The fake video gang already exposed a while ago. Chinese lunar rover caught an alien on the moon. So do we bother looking at it? He hasn't got a still up for us. Oh, here we go. Exposed a while ago. Okay. Fake. Okay. Let's add it on. It's another CGI. It looks to me like they'll have original where the alien's not there, right? So we won't bother looking. We just want to skim through this. Okay, what have we got here? Many people still sharing known fake UFO videos. So more CGIs. All awesome is the channel name. And there we go. There we got the ice hole going. And look, it's got some bright bits on there. But I think that was added on after. They had these spinning around on the outside. But I think that one we looked at was definitely a lens flare. Happened to be right on the edge. Probably did it on purpose, who knows, to make it look more like a UFO. It won't be too hard to do it, would it, to fake it. Using something natural and something unnatural to sort of make it look like it's bouncing off the edge of a craft. Pentagon's comment about Anthony Bragella's FOIA request response on test results from UAP Debri, and he claims that the tests of debris are inaccurate and misleading, which has already been talked about on the previous video. Release of some of the ATIP technical reports. So the legit, and of course there's the rocket launcher going. Different views of it, and a brief history of section 51. And that's where we ended off last time with the two moons in Saudi Arabia, was it? Dubai. And of course we'll wrap it up there, and we've still got a lot more to go, so see how I go in the next few days, energy levels, and eventually we'll cover, long as the guys don't keep putting out noise, we might be able to catch up. So yeah, there we go. Lots of things solved again. But I'm a liar, of course, and I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, you can see the darkened that one there to make it pop out, and you don't see the clouds very well. And you can see the edge of it was a wee bit on that image, which I didn't say before, but you could see it wasn't really crisp outline of a solid craft. It was like wiggly woggly, like a cloud hole. But anyway, let's see how the end credits go, and I'll leave you to your day or night or whatever it is. Thanks Area 51 for showing up, and the odd lurker. Here we go. Hopefully it's not corrupted. Crackle. Good night. So we still got the original theme music at the end, haven't we? So it doesn't really matter that I've got rid of it now. The shorter intro is probably better anyway. Start sooner. Don't have a 5-minute one like GUFON. We've always fake stuff in it, you know, the skinny bob. Yeah, it's certainly running a lot better today anyway. So maybe the new updates have done something. I'll play it back and see how good it come out, I guess. That's the best way of doing it for me. There's crackle there. I don't know. I might have to develop some code that can detect it for me and pop up a message on the screen. It's not easier said than done. I need lots of time to do that. Yeah, I better end this.